guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. I love what you're wearing today. Before I even start today's video, I just want to say thank you for even clicking on it. This video, as I'm filming it, I know it's not going to do like numbers or anything. And for me, that actually makes me feel a little bit more at peace filming this video because I know only the people who actually care click on these types of things, and that makes me feel really good. You might be wondering what this video is even going to be about, and it's based on a couple different things. Number one, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I more so just believe in setting long-term goals and pursuing them over time. But earlier this year, when we got back to school after the winter break, my TA basically asked us in class to go around and say what our New Year's resolutions were, and I hadn't thought of one. So kind of just thinking on the spot, the thing that I said in class that day was, I want to work on hating myself a little bit less. For a while, I think I've relied a lot on self-deprecation as a central part of my sense of humor. And like, I have nothing against a good self-roast every now and then. I think it keeps you humble, and I think it's sometimes just funny. But there's an extreme to everything, and over time, especially since starting therapy and stuff, I've noticed the way that I speak to myself and the way that my inner voice speaks to myself. And I actively want to change that. The second main reason I'm making this video is just how I've been feeling lately every time I've turned on the camera. I don't think I'm alone in saying that my mental health really has not been the best lately, especially since starting quarantine, but I don't think that's necessarily related to the overwhelming feeling of anxiety I've been feeling every time I've turned on the camera to film for my channel. And don't get me wrong, I love YouTube. I love my YouTube so much. I'm not quitting anytime soon. But lately I've noticed myself falling into a pattern of just overanalyzing to a point where over the last 2 months, every single time I've turned on the camera to film a video, it's taken me almost upwards of 2 hours to finish filming a video because I stutter and I overthink and I reword and re-say every single sentence that comes out of my mouth. Or just worrying about simple stupid things that when I think about them critically don't really matter, but in the moment they feel overwhelming, if you know what I mean. Like, I've never worried if people think my voice is annoying. I just speak, and if people find my voice annoying, usually I'm just like, F it. But lately that's been a concern.
That's so upsetting.
Basically, this is my long-winded way of me saying I've found myself anxious and insecure about things I've never been anxious or insecure about. And then the final reason I'm making this video is because lately I made a video that was probably one of my favorites I've ever made, addressing 10 things I've done wrong in my past and apologizing for them. That makes it sound like I like said racist things or something. It was basically a video talking about like 10 things I kind of like regret doing in the beginning of my channel, just like with the way that I conducted my channel in the past, and like apologizing for those things. Not like a whole ass apology video. And that was one of the videos I was probably most anxious filming, but one of the top comments on that video after everything was said and done was, I love that you're reflecting on things you've done wrong, but you should make a video talking about things you've done right, just to balance it out. That's kind of what this is today. I wanted to talk about 10 things that I like about myself. But I think everyone should do this, not necessarily making like a whole video about it, but for my birthday, please take some time to reflect on some things that you love about yourself. And I think that everybody can use that love and gentleness right now. I said 10, but I actually only have 8 here just because I couldn't think of 10 things, which sounds sad, but basically I kept thinking of things that I felt like could be lumped into other things I'd already thought about. And I hope you don't think this video is me being full of myself, because I truly wish that for every single one of these things I do like about myself, I didn't have 5 things I hate about myself to counter it. Today, I'm just gonna try and let the good things be a little bit louder. So sit back, relax, get your drink. Today we are drinking Celsius Sparkling Wild Berry. This has actually been like one of my favorite flavors recently. I don't know, I think raspberry is such an underrated flavor and you don't find it very often in like energy drinks, so this is one of my favorites right now. Full details of this berry blue look should already be on Instagram, and without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that I really like about myself is my work ethic. I'm really proud that I've been able to maintain being a full-time college student, a full-time pre-med student, not only continue my YouTube channel, but I would say the work that I've been putting into my channel has increased maybe double what I was putting into it when I was in high school, as well as staying on top of my studies, having another job on the side of this. Something I've seen a lot recently has been this kind of pushing against productivity culture, which I think is a good thing. I don't think that anybody should be working themselves to the bone, and that's something I'm very guilty of sometimes. So I do think that my work ethic and my kind of love for it can be a double-edged sword sometimes, and I can overwork myself. If productivity is something that actively begins to harm your life, I definitely don't think that you should focus on it. But for me, staying busy and feeling like I have a lot of things going on, and just that satisfaction of checking things off of a list, that makes me feel like I'm living life. I just like the feeling of making moves and doing things. and realizing stuff.
Like the year of just realizing stuff.
I feel like that was a sentence that was supposed to end somewhere, but I don't remember where, so I'm just gonna move on to the next one instead of reshooting this over and over again. The second thing that I really like about myself is something that, unlike a type A personality or work ethic, I don't think I was born with. It's definitely a skill that I've had to learn, and that's probably why I'm even more proud of it, is because it wasn't something that I naturally had. I had to foster it through experience. I'm really proud that I know my limits and I know when I am and am not mentally healthy. And obviously this trait is something that came out of years of struggle and not acknowledging that I was mentally unhealthy to a point of me almost dying twice. Because obviously, yes, the most important thing is restoring your physical health, but I think the biggest thing that my disorder taught me was how to be self-aware and how to know my limits. And of course this can also sometimes be a double-edged sword, because me thinking that I'm self-aware can sometimes lead me to believe that I can handle things that maybe I can't handle on my own and I shouldn't have to handle on my own. But overall, I think it's a net positive.
I see this as an absolute win.
So not only being self-aware and knowing how to be an advocate for myself in terms of putting myself in situations that are good for my mental health and removing myself from situations that aren't, but in general I think I'm good at owning up to mistakes too, and I hope I never ever lose that. It's a good thing I'm drinking an energy drink because this is draining a lot of emotional energy from me right now. I would take a nap after this video, but I'm filming 3 things today, so. The third thing I like about myself is, I didn't really know how to phrase this one, so I'm just gonna say character arc. My growth and change over time. When I look at the person that I was 3 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever it was that I started this weird ass channel, or just even myself at the beginning of high school to where I am now at the beginning of college, I can't wait to see where I am at the end of this journey, because I don't even recognize the person that I was 4 years ago. But again, bringing it back to like the central reason I'm making this video, I'm really proud of my progress with phasing self-deprecating humor out and trying to respect myself a little bit more. For me, just constantly shitting on myself, whether it's with friends or here on YouTube, self-deprecating humor is a central part of like relatable humor, which I think I'm really glad that we've seen that people kind of shifting away from that. I think the biggest example I can think of for this one is one of my favorite creators right now, who's Ashley from Best Dressed. I have been watching her channel for almost 3 years now, but for about a year and a half I had to stop watching her videos because she, like me, really relied on self-deprecating humor a lot. So the key reason why I had to stop watching her content was because she was being so self-deprecating to herself that it made me feel worse about myself. And the reason I have so much respect for her now is that she acknowledged that and actively tried to move away from that, and has actively been making self-love a central part of her message, which I think is so important when you have an audience full of young women. And to witness her growth as a person has inspired me to grow in a similar way and just be kinder to myself in the way that she's being kinder to herself. So, growth and change over time. Character arc. The fourth thing I like about myself, no, scratch that. Love about myself is my recovery and how I've shared my story. My ED video was something that I straight up was not going to post. The best day of my life was March 9th of 2018. I was a wreck from 5 a.m. when I woke up to about 8:59 p.m. Actually, no, I was a wreck through the entire speech too, so like to 9:30, I was a mess. When I think back to that day and the amount of strength I must have had that day, it seems crazy because I don't think I could do that again. I'm like, how are you the same person that was able to do these things? But that's the thing, sometimes it's about faking it till you make it, because on that day I wasn't feeling strong enough, but I did it anyways. And sometimes I think strength is what comes after you do something really scary. I'm really proud that I shared this story, and I can't imagine my life if I hadn't. Even though I know in my heart that some people judge me for it, and even though I know that sometimes it just feels like the craziest, wildest choice to put myself out there like that, I know it was the right choice. And even if it may sometimes cause me pain, it has never, ever caused me regret. Fifth thing that I like about myself is my mind.
I am so powerful. My mind, oh, it amazes me sometimes.
That was my senior quote, by the way, and in a very ironic way, because senior year was the time that I doubted myself and my abilities the most. I've always been proud of my grades and my academic side, and I take a lot of pride in maintaining a good GPA, but I don't think that a number is everything. But I think street smarts and business smarts and the many different ways that people can express intelligence are just as smart. Some of the smartest people I've ever met don't focus on academics, but have so much wisdom and so much to share in terms of life experience. So I like my mind, not only because it can write really good essays and solve calculus, but because it's allowed me to do some really cool things, like making a living and making a part-time job out of something that I started as a hobby, or just being an emotionally intelligent and present friend. Sixth thing I like about myself is that I'm really good with my money. In terms of saving, I think I'm good at being financially responsible, and that might just be because I've been working since I've been like 10 years old. But I'm really glad and really proud that I learned how to save at a young age, and mostly learned how to do that myself. Obviously my mom has been a really good role model for that, because that's like basically what her job is managing other people's money. But I really like that I've learned how to be a little bit more long-term with my goals. I recently just bought my dream handbag that I've been saving up for almost a year. It's not even about making a ton of money each month, it's just about knowing how to move and stretch that money and live within your means while also treating yourself. Seventh thing I like about myself is words.
Okay.
My ability to articulate my thoughts and be able to speak what's on my mind. And a big part of that is you guys and the platform that you've given me. I'm really glad that I've been able to find a community where I can talk about things, and even if you disagree with me, we can have intellectual conversations. But something I think I've become good at is just being able to state what I think without making it an absolute. And learning, not just innately not caring, but learning how to not give a shit about the ratio of likes to dislikes, or the nitpicky comments that tell me that I'm ugly or that I speak weird or something. I like that I've grown on this channel, and that I used to be just so scared of giving any opinions, so I would just talk about makeup and try and stay in my lane, but now I'm not scared to give my opinions and be a little bit more outspoken. And the eighth and final thing that I like about myself is my love for others. In the past year, I've become closer with my mother and my sister than I've ever been in my life. And in the past year, I've really tightened my circle of friends in real life as well, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I keep my circle tight. I'm a very much guarded person just because I have been hurt in the past by friends. But for the most part, I think the biggest thing I've learned is that toxic friends can love you, but they can still be toxic. So I keep my circle small, but if I let you in, I will love you with everything I have. I'm gonna be a really good wife someday. And those are my favorite things about myself, the things I like about myself the most. And I hope this video inspires you to think about yourself in the same way. So my challenge to you, if you choose to accept it, is to, in the comment section, leave one thing that you really like about yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but even if you didn't, I enjoyed this video, and I'm making this video for me. So, yeah, you know what the drill is. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But I can't think of a better way to kick off my last year being a teenager. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you made it to the very end, you get the bonus meme. You really thought I wasn't gonna do one in this video just because it's emotional? You don't know me.